Before Bonelab's launch, it was hyped up to be VR's Gmod, and Marrow was expected to be what Source was to all of PC gaming. The launch of Bonelab left people heavily disappointed, with a bad campaign, a buggy launch, and an unfinished mod SDK. This shit hasn't been updated since October, dude. This game came out in September. That's just 1 month. 1 month they updated the game. A single month it got one fucking update. 2 years of support. 2 years of support with no fucking updates. What the hell? All of these things definitely set Bonelab back a bit, but I believe that now, after almost a year, the game is finally starting to live up to the hype. Sure, the SDK is still very much unfinished, but that hasn't stopped modders from making some seriously impressive stuff with it. And I don't say that lightly either. Most of the mods I'm showcasing today are more than just impressive for Bonelab standards, but impressive for VR as a whole. These mods showcase why the Marrow engine is so important, and also showcase why I believe Bonelab is going to be the most valuable VR game in somewhere around 2 to 3 months. I'll go more detail into that specifically later in the video, but for now, let's begin showcasing this sexy little game engine. I probably shouldn't call anything underdeveloped sexy, but you know, got a little EDP in my... First off is Bone Z, a decently functional port of Call of Duty Zombies into Bonelab. This mod is still very much under development, but what's done here so far is crazy cool and impressive, especially since it doesn't require any code mods. Please keep in mind that it is only an alpha.
Oh damn.
Whoa, flying! What the fuck is this? And plans to be much more fleshed out in the future, but regardless, this is still pretty fucking cool. It's got a working point system, some limited fusion support, and buyables with proper functions. I asked Hunter if the mod would allow people to use it to port or make their own custom zombie maps, and he said that Bone Z will be open source when it's stable, which is so incredibly great, because even in its current state, I still had a great time playing it in Fusion, so I'm sure hopping on this with some buddies in the future would be great if it gets more Fusion support. Hopefully that includes a downing and revive system, because that would be so fucking cool. All mods are available in the description, by the way, so you can go download them there, unless you're some kind of pussy fart that just wants to watch me talk about them. Next up is Iron Lab, which is a full port of Iron Lung, otherwise known as the Markiplier movie game.
Was that the bite of 87?
This is the whole ass game just straight up ported to Bonelab, which also means straight up ported to VR. There isn't too much to say about it other than that, because honestly that says everything you need to hear, but yes, this is the real deal and it is actually fully playable from start to finish. One thing I will say though is that it doesn't have any fusion support, which leads to the game desyncing easily since the reps aren't always exactly one-to-one, but regardless, it's still an awesome single player experience if you're interested. Next is fucking Mario Maker. Someone made a working version of Mario Maker in Bonelab. It features working building blocks along with stompable Goombas, and it all syncs in Fusion. This is
Goomba! Goomba! No way! Jump on his ass!
Yeah!
Jump on his ass!
I got him! I spent like an hour fumbling around like a dumb baby just seeing what cool levels I could make, especially since actual Mario Maker was never 3D. Overall, fun as hell, and you could combine this with the Scene Saver mod to save your levels and share them with your friends. Overall, just really cool stuff. And I hope to God it gets more updates because this shit is so cool. I love checkpoints or other things along those lines. Next up is Moving Picture, a work in progress port of the entire first Bendy game. This mod is pretty much just a fancy map at the moment, but it does have some events, and the fact that it plans to have the entire game is going to make this one of the best mods for Bonelab. I personally feel that using Bonelab's engine as a way to make more than just Bonelab style action levels is really great, and I feel this map showcases why perfectly. It takes advantage of the physics systems in subtle ways, like interactable items around the map, which makes it feel like a true VR port rather than just the map thrown into Unity. This mod is kinda cool now, but once there's a full game behind it, it'll easily be one of the go-to mods for Bonelab, even if you aren't interested in Bendy like me. Overall really cool, but it's got a bright future ahead of it. There are currently 2 really great level ports of levels from Mario 64, being Whomp's Fortress and Bob-omb Battlefield. There's collectible coins and other things of that nature, and it just makes me want a full Mario 64 port in Bonelab so desperately bad to play it with the Fusion. It'd be so cool to collect stars, coins, unlock more levels, suck your friend's virtual cock, and beat Bowser all within Bonelab. Imagine having some of your friends collect some stars in one level while you collect some in another for the ultimate goal of beating the game, like some kind of MMO. This is already possible with a Mario 64 multiplayer mod, but doing it in VR with Bonelab would be a different experience entirely. For now though, These two levels are really well done ports and are an excellent experience. Next is Rec Room for no other reason than it being really funny seeing these goofy ass Rec Room characters flop to the floor in Fusion Deathmatch. This is a collage of a couple mods to get it to look like Rec Room, but overall just some dumb fun. And while we're on the topic of showing off some lesser mods just to get the game to kind of look the part, here's a Half-Life Alyx map with Alyx's hands, and it is shocking just how similar it looks to actual Half-Life Alyx. Not much going on game-wise here, but it's still cool to take a look at how Bonelab can look absolutely nothing like Bonelab, just like a true game engine. You gonna face the wrath of the monkey.
You're so lame. Look at you, all lame and shit.
You're so fucked. Come here. What the hell? You go down the stairs so quickly.
Come get me, nerd. Where is he?
Here we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This isn't the full ass game or anything, not sure why anyone would want to remake Mid, but instead we just have the maps and some avatars.
I
Where you going? Lil man, where you going? Me and Kruggy got on Fusion to try this out and came up with a little chase mini game that was really fun thanks to the different stats of the avatars we used. Fuck off! Go away! Go away!
Okay.
You're not doing it. You're getting a running start. No! No! This would be so cool if there was some kind of Fusion game mode made for it, but for now, this is still weirdly really fun, and I'd highly recommend you give it a try if you have friends. Or if you're not on Quest. Next up is Labworks, a work-in-progress port of Boneworks, and this mod is very special. Over this past year, Bonelab has been improved upon its terrible launch date to a pretty decent degree, except the campaign. The campaign really couldn't be improved upon without being redone, as it's just not that good on a fundamental level. The amount of fucking speedruns I lost to Monogon Motorway, dude, holy shit, fuck! But Labworks fixes that. When I said Bonelab will be one of the most valuable VR games at the start, I was mainly referring to this fantastic mod. This mod, in and of itself, will single-handedly fix the one major issue with Bonelab. I have replayed the Boneworks campaign more times than I can remember and always had a great time. And for comparison with Bonelab, the only map I really go to replay from the campaign is Street Puncher. It was the Boneworks campaign that made me hopeful for Bonelab's future, and I hope its arrival in Bonelab will do the same for others. Quest players never got to experience the insane open campaign PC players did, but now, after almost a year, Labworks only has a couple levels left until it's fully finished. You can play what they have done now on mod.io, but I'd recommend waiting if you want to play the whole campaign on Quest, as levels are still being optimized and there's still like 3 levels left in development, so you might as well wait. But if you want to give it a shot, I know Streets and Runoff run fantastic on Quest thanks to the chunk loading system. But when it is done, Bonelab will suddenly be worth the price tag, because Boneworks is worth the price tag. You get the Boneworks campaign, which is still mine and many others' favorite VR game, and then all of the other benefits of Bonelab for just $10. Things like quest support, mod support, custom avatars, etc. Labworks is Bonelab's last majorly important mod, and I for one cannot wait to live out my dream of playing Boneworks with proper multiplayer after almost 3 years of hoping. Absolutely incredible work from everyone involved. Moving past that showcase of virginity. Here we have just one level from Ultrakill, but it's a really well done port of this level and is incredibly fun. Please play this level if you want something to do in Bonelab. This shit is peak. And there's an Ultrakill avatar I've linked as well to go with it. Play this shit, fuck you.
Like, Mini, watch this shit. You ain't fucking ready. Watch this shit. You ready?
You're gonna fall all the way to the bottom, have to do that whole thing.
Nah, because you ain't fucking ready. You ain't ready. Watch this shit. And calm down. Super. Ultra. Come blast! Saw that shit?
Next up is fucking Roblox. There's like a whole bunch of Roblox maps, but this is the one I'm mentioning. And in this case, it for some reason led to me and Kruggy talking about super personal shit.
Mini, my job screamed at me and they said, if you do this again, we're firing you. That's what they told me.
What'd you do?
That's what I did. Y'all didn't know it was weird for the longest time?
Not like that. But moving past that, this is some okay Roblox hobby. Go give it a shot if you're interested, though you're probably not. Here we have Halo using a couple of mods in Fusion Deathmatch. Pretty fun way to experience a taste of Halo in VR, and definitely worth trying out if you have friends, or once again, if you're not on Quest. The gun pack I linked felt shockingly balanced for Fusion, except for the sniper. The crosshairs on the guns also made them fun to just pick up and hip fire, and was just overall a good time and easy to pick up and play. Next is one of my personal favorites, Predegression. This is a full custom campaign, and the level design is incredibly impressive. If you're going to play any mod on this list, this is probably the one to play. I'm not going to showcase too much because it's something you should really experience for yourself, and I don't want to spoil it, but here's one scene that gives a pretty good idea of how this map plays out.
Get on. Nolan, get on. Oh, shit. Get cover, get cover. Create it. Go on, Nolan. Fuck, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Get behind. That's so cool. Holy shit. This is so cool.
This level design is perfect.
There's two paths with entirely different levels and experiences, and it's still technically in beta, but it feels so finished to me. This is probably the most underrated mod in Bonelab. What's even crazier is that the frame rate is like perfect on this map too, dude. There's no reason not to play it. Please give it a shot. And the final mod that's available for download right now, we have 7-Eleven. This mod isn't a game port, but rather an original creation that is really fun and has plans to have even more to discover in the future. I don't want to say too much about this map because it's something really cool to experience for yourself, but I highly recommend you try it and look around for some secrets. That's it for all the mods you can play right now, but before you go, here are two mods that are currently a work in progress that are very exciting. Just keep in mind though, it is all work in progress and may not ever release, but it's still fun to take a look at what's in development. Half-Life 1 is currently being ported by Yellow Years and looks very ambitious. It has a main menu which is impressing me more than it probably should, but regardless, this looks so cool and I am unbelievably excited to see where it goes, even if it takes 40 years. And finally, the mod I'm personally most excited for, Duck Season is being ported by Lakatrazz, the same guy who made Bonelab Fusion. From what I've seen so far, it already looks incredible and is super faithful and would make Bonelab a game that comes with all of Stress Level Zero's games, except for Hover Junkers. And that's it for the Bonelab mod showcase. If you want to see more of my videos, you should watch my in-depth look at Hello Neighbor VR. It's a fun watch to have as background audio while you go play your Switch or something. Once again, all available mods are linked in the description, so if you're interested in trying out any of them, which you should definitely be interested in Predegression or I'll kill you, then please go download them via the links in the description. Also subscribe or your balls will implode.